Today I'm going to be going over the pathway on how to draw for congenital adrenal hyperplasia. Alright, so first thing you want to do is do your mnemonic, which is GFR, which is going to be glomerulosa, fasciculata, and reticularis. And mnemonic is GFR, salty, sweet, sex. The deeper you go, the sweeter it gets. I did not come up with this, but I think it's great. Salty stands for aldosterone. Sweet is going to be your cortisol. And sex is going to be your testosterone. Okay, next step, draw some straight lines. Great, so two parallel lines. Now I'm going to draw two more parallel lines, and this is going to be standing for 21 and 11. And the way I remember this is 21 is greater than 11, so 21 goes above 11. And then we're going to throw 17 over here, and 17 doesn't have the 1 in this place here, so 17 is a little bit of a weirdo. He's going to hang out over there, not with his buddies. So we do know that these are all steroid hormones, so we know we need to have the cholesterol up there because they all come from the base ring. And then the first thing I like to do is go pre and pro. And the same thing over here, pre and pro, but I like to say a little space because you'll see. And then we just fill these in, we'll fill them in, pregnenolone and progesterone. And the same thing over here, pregnenolone, sorry for my handwriting, and progesterone. And the way I remember this is you got to be a pre before you become a pro. Okay, so next step is 21 to 11. How do I get from 21 to 11? Well, these are hydroxylases, right? So they're removing OH groups. And 21, he kind of wants to be 11 a little bit. So how is he going to do that? He's going to try 11-deoxy. Hydroxylase and 21 transitioning to 11. And also I remember this because 21 is moving down and deoxy is a loss. So it's a loss, it's a loss. I like to remember it that way. And because 17 is a little bit of a weirdo, he's also hydroxylase, but instead of a deoxy, he's just gonna put an OH. All right, so we got that done now. Next step is to look right here. So we have cortisol and aldosterone. So this one's easy. We're just gonna fill in cortisol right here, and then we're done with that pathway. Here, this is also cortico, but we're going to look right here and add a sterone to the end of it because this is aldosterone. Okay, next step. So one thing I like to do is fact check myself. I like to do 5, 4, 3. I don't care how you remember that, just remember it. And the way I like to do that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, these guys are just the mnemonics here. So we know that this pathway is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, well, we're missing something. So 11 has to do something here. What is 11 going to do? It's going to do what it does best. It's going to take off the deoxy. And then you just have corticosterone. So we go from 11-deoxycorticosterone to corticosterone. And we're basically done here, so we can just draw in the arrows. Okay, and now we're going to do this column over here. The mnemonic I like to use for this column is dat, good, sex. And dat is going to just fill in right here, D, A, and T. So we have D, A, T. And that's going to stand for DHEA. And this is going to stand for androstenedione. Dione. I'm not really good at pronouncing these. Okay, so now we're going to just draw our arrows in. And check. 1, 2, 3. Yep, we're good. And that's the pathway. One more thing I want to mention is 21 and 11 don't go over here. They only influence these two. So 21 and 11, which kind of makes sense because this reaction, there's two enzymes here. And you don't need two enzymes for one reaction, so that doesn't make any sense. And if you want to go one step further, that 1720 lies right there. And that's a congenital adrenal hyperplasia pathway. Thanks for watching.